Salutations, boys and girls and kiddos of all ages. And of course, I would like to welcome back all my subscribers, returning viewers, and I guess anybody that saw me the last time. And of course, to any new viewers of the channel or of my videos. And if this is your first one, I would just like to say hello, thank you, and welcome for joining us. And you are here at Posing Action Figures with Toy the Poser. And I am your host, Toy the Poser. The pleasure is mine. But we're going to start off this video with a confession of me exposing, I assume, one of my goofs. Well, I'm pretty sure by now you know that this video is about the execution. I'm pretty sure you could tell that by when you saw the thumbnail. And of course, if anybody that does not know that of the executioner is the Build-A-Figure of a certain wave, as we say in action figures, that it takes to build them with. And now, for anyone that don't know how Build-A-Figures work, first I want to ask the ones that do know how this goes to please bear with me as I explain to our, viewers that would like to know this information as easily as I can. But anyway, a Build-A-Figure is one action figure or whatever that gets separated into smaller pieces and it's sold with individual action figures. So each part and or accessory, each leg or limb or torso, head or whatever, will get divided into pieces and sold alongside other action figures in this wave. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, normally I would just have a physical, example to show you as I go along when I do my videos. However, somehow, some way, I ended up throwing away the boxes that it comes, the action figures come in because I'm not an inbox collector. And yeah, it's, shows the whole entire wave on those boxes. But boneheaded me end up, I don't know, throwing away the boxes. But I did do a separate video on every figure in this wave except one, which was this World War II version of Wolverine, which I did not want. But he didn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece anyway, so I really didn't need him. Whoop! So with that being said, let's get this show on the road. So behind the camera, I go into giant mode. Whoop! Whoop! Okay, so all right, upon the rotating, and already in a, well, not really a cold pose. I done pre-posed them and played around with them for a little while now. But remember to always heat up your action figures before you pose them, kiddos, because that reduces the chance of something breaking and snapping and, bad things happening. All right, but let's talk more about the executioner here. The B.A.F wave, I guess I should say, since you haven't already saw the rest of the videos, I can't remember which piece came with who, so you guys got the, once again, forgive me on that for throwing away all the boxes, but the arms, left and right, were separate, and they both came with alternate hands. I guess relaxed right hand and an open left hand, as you can see on it, but only one hand had a grip on it to hold his axe. Don't ask me why they would do such a thing. And only one hand was a fist. Once again, don't ask me why they would do such a thing to give him at least not two axe, holding hands. So to hold his weapon, but here we are. But who are we talking about here? And that person would be a person whose physical characteristics I forgot to display while we were sitting up there talking about them. But as you can see here, we go here. And also, I just want to say this about the executioner before we fully get started. But not only was he portrayed in one of the, or actually two, I think he was in, well, I think one of them was like a flash. But anyway, the Thor, and I think it was Thor Ragnarok. Now I can't even remember which movie he was in, but yes. Scourge the Executioner was in one or maybe two of the Thor movies, and he was portrayed by the actor Carl Urban, played Scourge the Executioner in Thor Ragnarok. Or was it? Oh, it was Thor Ragnarok. And I'm just gonna say Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder. Correct me in the comments, please, if I'm wrong. But anywho, the whole point of me actually saying that and bringing that up, period, in that regards is one reason is to, say that one of the reasons why I don't like collecting MCU versions of comic book characters. I'd rather them give us the comic book version of the character. Also, we did get a version of him in action figure form, and also I was right. He was in the Thor Ragnarok movie, along with Hela, who also we did get another comic version of Hela, but she is expensive, and for some odd reason they keep putting Hela in multi-packs, like 2-packs and stuff. But anywho, yeah. Scourge. Who not only came with an axe, but 2 guns, anyways, but that's neither here nor there. Because only thing I want to say is that I did have them because I know, anybody that knows or me now that I don't like collecting multiple versions of characters that I already have. And sometimes when they come in the MCU version of them, of the character, I can't never tell if we're ever going to get, when or if we're ever going to get the comic book accurate version of that said character. So I end up getting the MCU version of them reluctantly, but hey, it helps me build my universe if they're not there. So lo and behold, my dreams came true, and we finally got a comic book accurate of Scourge the Executioner. And if you're asking who is Scourge the Executioner, well, now I can finally stop jibber jabbering and tell you who this person is. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and first appearing in Journey into Mystery, issue number 103, and in the year of 1964. I'm basically trying to say a Thor comic because he's a Thor villain. Anyway, but that was the first time we was introduced to a man by the name of Scourge the Executioner. Now, Scourge was one of Asgard's greatest warriors. And Asgard, and not to put too fine of a point on it, Asgard is a place of Norse. Am I pronouncing it? Norse mythology. I'm sorry, Norse mythology that consists of like 10 different sections, if I'm not mistaken. But anywho, it is the realm of like a lot of godly type beings. Godly beings like Thor. Okay, so that was my brief history lesson about Asgard and Norse mythology, and I'm still pronouncing it wrong. But anywho, yes, Scourge the Executioner was born in Asgard, so which makes him an Asgardian, but he also was of a storm giant and a woman or goddess from the realm of Scornum, someplace in Asgard, in the south of Asgard, I think. There it is. Okay, so some goddess woman from Scornum and a storm giant apparently gave birth. They didn't give names of these people, but apparently gave birth to Scourge the Executioner. Okay. Now, later on in life, of course, as I said before, he became a great warrior and was fighting in one of the wars, or I guess a lot of the, the Asgardian wars or whatever. And that's how he pretty much ended up with the moniker, the Executioner. Now, later he came to Asgard, but I thought he was always in Asgard at the time. But apparently, somewhere in the timeline or whatever, he was back and forth or between lands or whatever. But no matter, somewhere in between that time, he encountered the powerful sorceress, the Enchantress. And yes, we did a video of the Enchantress because she was one of the figures in this Build-A-Figure wave. So if you haven't seen my video of Aurora the Enchantress, please go take a look-see when you can, if you will. All right, moving on. But anywho, Scourge was seduced by the Enchantress, and even though the Enchantress basically seduced the Executioner Skull. Okay, never mind. But even though she was technically playing with his mind and helping her to do all her little evil dastardly schemes with her, the Executioner was technically still enamored and thought with her anyway, so he probably would have did them nonetheless. So, but it basically all was in order to, or for the Enchantress to, Donald Blake, who was basically Thor at this time, the Enchantress was basically in love with Thor. And hence the reason that was the Executioner's first encounter with Thor, basically to help the woman he loved, I guess, attack and capture the man she loved. So, but with all that being said, Thor ended up prevailing and defeating both the Enchantress and the Executioner. And that's pretty much the long and short of it when it comes to Scourge the Executioner. Now, even though it may not seem like it, Scourge is not, some little weakling, or, just, I guess, Ponzi kick around guy or whatever. Because Scourge the Executioner can lift pretty much up to like about 65 tons. He has, well, what they call super speed, but that basically means that he can run faster than the most elite human being So he's faster than you know, fastest human being alive or whatever. Of course, he's extremely durable because he's technically a giant. In part, God in that regards. Now, when it comes to stuff like energy projectiles or things like that, Scourge wasn't always like this, but somehow, somewhere in some storyline or something like that, he gained some kind of magic abilities to shoot some kind of magical blast or entrap people with, I guess, magical spells and powers or something like that. So they don't show it much or talk about it much, but it was a later thing that he picked up along the lines. Now, although he is I guess, a great formidable hand-to-hand combatant, I think that's how you say that. But he can fight really well with his bare hands. He also has great abilities of, I guess, in extent knowledge of weapons. However, he mostly is known with carrying around his what they call blood axe or whatever. Nothing magical about it to my knowledge. But yeah, he can use other various weapons. Which one he has a very, I think, an unbreakable helmet that he wears sometimes, which I wish they would have gave us. Also, I wish they would have gave us the machine guns. Now, in the first MCU action figure one, they did give us machine guns. So if you have that figure, yes, you. But it's smaller, so I don't know what it'll look like in this larger version of the Executioner's hands or something like that. And I don't have it on hand at this time, so sorry about that. But I did wish they did give him more weapons, machine guns, or even just that helmet. But speaking of him being a larger figure, it's time to size him up. Whoop, whoop. And representing our 136 scale action figure size, coming in at 2 inches tall, we have whoop, Herbie from the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends Fantastic Four multi-pack. We have it came with a Herbie action figure, and Herbie stands 2 inches tall, the average 136 scale action figure size. So don't know what you got in your collection that's 136 scale action figure size, but that's how you would it was size up, I guess, to the Executioner. Okay, but representing the 1/18th scale action figure size, we have whoop the Xenostrike 3-minute project, who I like to call waist high ninja guys, Gary for short. And Gary stands at approximately I think 3 3/4 or 4 inches tall, if you give and take, if you want to pull halves, but the average 1/18th scale action figure size. So the next up would be your average 1/12th scale action figure size, and representing that size, we have whoop Stan the Man, my main man, Stan, the Marvel Legends Stan Lee action figure, and Scourge's, or one of Scourge's creators. So dad, I guess you can say. But anyway, Stan Lee stands at approximately 6 inches tall, and that is the average 1/12th scale action figure size. Hell yes. And representing in the 1/10th scale action figure size, we have whoop, the not a homebody action figure, who we call Buck, bigger figure. Oh yeah. And Buck stands at approximately 7 inches tall, which is the average 1/10th scale action figure size. So, and as you can see, Scourge's a lot taller than Buck there, so which means that Scourge is standing whoop over 7 inches tall. And let's see if we can get a closer look at that. All right, let's see how lucky we are with my camera skills, and they are not that good. But anywho, okay, all right, is that good enough? All right, I'm gonna I'm gonna say a little over. Oh, let's just go ahead and call it 7.5. Is that 7.5? I'm looking at it through the camera, but I don't mean to. But anywho, yeah, you see the ruler yourself. But anywho, all right. Whoop, 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 whoop. And there you have it, kiddos. That is our video for today. And I would like to thank you and our man of the hour, Scourge the Executioner. Thanks for stopping by, Scourge. And by the way, don't forget your X, big guy. But wait, before I give you this extremely heavy thing, I would like to give you a few tips on the ways to a woman's heart. And the first thing you should know is that carrying around a giant, heavy, bloody axe isn't a good idea. Because, whoa. Oh, that's why. Could you give me a hand, please? Whoop. Well, I guess I'll see you in the next video, kiddos. Ta-ta for now.